So Gardevoir got Vacuum Wave in the DLC, and I think that's pretty exciting for a couple of reasons. First of all, Vacuum Wave up until this point wasn't very well distributed, and so it's exciting to see it being on more Pokemon. It's one of the very few special priority moves. It's also nice to be on Gardevoir specifically because Gardevoir does want fighting coverage a lot of the time. Even with Moonblast, you still want it for steel types. And you could use Focus Blast, which would do way more damage, considerably more damage, but you also are going to miss a lot. And so it's nice to have priority. And it also allows you to outplay a Sucker Punch from Bisharp. So for all those reasons, I wanted to try out Vacuum Wave and see what kind of utility it has. Now, you'd only really ever run Vacuum Wave on not Scarf sets, so we are running Choice Specs Gardevoir. And in this game, I see my opponent doesn't really have anything for Rotom, with the exception of the Kilowattrel. Now, they lead off with Colossal, which is fine by me, because I am just going to Volt Switch here. The question is, what would they go for? Would they go for a Fire move? I'm guessing probably not. If they did it anything like Stone Edge, Stealth Rock Spikes. It's weird because my opponent has both Colossal and Fortress. I get Colossal is useful in certain situations, and I guess Fortress is good as well, but I just don't see the utility in having both. Here I'm gonna Earth Power first, I think. Just because I am a Grass type, you may want to stay in, and getting Colossal weakened like that is really good. And as you can see, I am Spadef. Well, I'm not a Spadef Toedscruel, but Toedscruel has a lot of Spadef. And Colossal is not really that threatening of a Pokemon. So now I'm going to Rapid Spin on the Kilowattrel coming in. And we get rid of the rocks, which is fine by me. Here we'll go into our Rotom. And unfortunately, they get the Para with the Hurricane, which is unfortunate. And I will just Overheat. And now we will Volt Switch, because we are -2. We don't want to stay in if we don't have to. And we'll always go Toedscruel here, get off this Suicide Rapid Spin. Or Suicide for him, because I know he's going to stay in. And they do get the burn on that, which is fair enough. 2 times, it's a pretty good chance that I'm going to get that. Here, if they want to Encore, that's like whatever. But I still don't want to scout out what they're going to do here, as this is a rain team apparently, which makes sense because you got Barraskewda and Overquill. Here, if I go for Rapid Spin again, then maybe I can outspeed his Overquill at the very least. I don't think I'd outspeed Barraskewda because I am a very bulky one. And I wouldn't, yeah, there's no way I'd outspeed Barraskewda. But you'll also notice that my Toedscruel is decently healthy. They go into Kilowattrel. Okay. That's a bit annoying. Do I need the Toedscruel anymore is the question. And, I don't know. I don't know, fam. Let's see. Do I need Gardevoir in this game? Gardevoir has Swift Swim. We definitely need Gardevoir. It's not Scarf, so it won't outspeed Barraskewda. But maybe Overquill? Maybe if it's Adamant. Do I need Slitherwing in this game? It's useful if, with First Impression. Yeah, I guess I'll sack this. We'll just Giga Drain here. They actually Volt Switch, which is giant because they're almost 100,000% specs here. So they make a huge overprediction there, which they should never have done. Yeah, my opponent was overpredicting so hard. I don't know why you wouldn't go for Hurricane. You're not going to be able to miss. And not only did you stall out a rain turn, but you allow me to go for Earth Power. Now, I could Spore here. And maybe I should. But I'd like to get off damage on the Fortress, because that is sort of annoying for my Gardevoir. Because if I go Gardevoir on their Overquill, they know they're adamant and they're outsped. Or I could even bluff it against the Barraskewda. If they can go Fortress, that's sort of annoying for them. So, if they're not choice specs, then that's fine. Okay, looks like my opponent just forfeits there. I really think that was an awful play on my opponent's part. You always Hurricane there. You know what, they thought I was going to go Bisharp. You think I'm going to go Bisharp, you're going to Volt Switch out, look real savvy, then go into Barraskewda. But I did not need my Toedscruel. Toedscruel is nice, but you're grass and ground, so you don't resist the water moves. You are weak to Hurricane, and you're not blocking Flip Turn or anything like that. Like, there's no reason to keep it around when I have so many other good Pokemon on my team and I don't want to sack them. Alright, we got another game right away, which is nice to see. This is a more standard team as what you'd expect to find on the ladder. I think you'd probably lead off with something like Passimian here. I'm going to lead off with my Slitherwing, because I figured you'd lead off with Passimian. And now here, I'm just going to U-turn, because they go for knockoff, which is cool, I guess. Now I will go into Gardevoir and throw off a Moonblast. I could throw off a Psychic as well, but I just don't want Crocodile to come in. And if they're gonna give me their Passimian, that makes my Bisharp that much better. Not like Bisharp's gonna be that great, but I do have Define for Crocodile. And if this is Intimidate Quillfish, I have it for that as well. Yeah, there you go. I got Define on my Gardevoir too. Here we go into Slitherwing. Slitherwing is decent against Crocodile. And now we just First Impression always. Since I didn't go for First Impression, maybe they won't see it coming. There goes Crocodile. Nice. Now I don't know how offensive the Crocodile was. Maybe it wasn't that offensive because it had Intimidate, but also it did a lot of damage to Slitherwing. So maybe it was a bit more offensive. It could have even been Choice Band, I don't know. But they decided to stay in. I don't know why. You have a Quillfish right there. You have a Typhlosion right there. Those are what you should have gone into. But it looks like my opponent didn't have that many points. Now this looks like something that you see on the RU ladder. We've got Graphite, we got Belly Bolt, and Umbreon. The triple toxic core, plus Serena with knockoff, rapid spin, U-turn, power whip, or drop kick, and then your two breakers. So triple annoying utility breakers. I don't really see any hazards on my opponent's side, which is fine by me. I think I want to lead off with my Gardevoir, actually. I could Terra Fighting here, turn 1, and just Psychic. And you know what? I'm going to do it. It's probably not a good play, but I'm going to do it. Now, since I did that, they, I guess, go Gardevoir. I could have gone Umbreon as well, maybe a little less safe. Here, though, I can go into my Toedscruel. They get a Spatak drop, which is fine. I will just go for Spore. They do go Serena. That makes a lot of sense. Probably should have seen that one coming. Here, I'll just go Slitherwing as they get off a really strong Power Whip. And we'll just U-turn here to Belly Bolt. That makes sense. And Earth Power here. You don't mess around with Belly Bolt. And so now I have to decide what we're going into next. Rotom on the Play Rough, which is fine as well. They don't have any electric immunity, so Umbreon is cool to go into. And now I'm just going to U-turn. They'll protect always to Scout, but I didn't want to get locked into close combat on the Gardevoir. Switch in, because then I'd have to make a double versus Umbreon. Whereas here, even if they want to stay in, that's fine. I forced their Terra, which means now that my Gardevoir is really good into them. As they can Toxic, that's alright. But now they have no Psychic immunity, and so they'll have to stall me out. So they got a lot of Psychic type, or I guess they have this, but look, it only has one more switch in. Toedscruel again? I think so. They go for Moonblast, because of course they would. I'm gonna go Rotom here, just save this. That actually is a really good play on my part. And I'm gonna go for Will-O-Wisp this time. I don't know what my opponent's plan is, but I can get a burn on the Umbreon or any number of nasties. As we can just go Gardevoir here, and they have no switch-ins. If we get the same roll as we got last time on the Gardevoir, it'll go down. And we do. So their Gardevoir goes down, they lose their Wish, and they still have no Psychic immunities. I would go into Paldean and Tauros if I were my opponent. They may go for the Gunk Shot though. I'm gonna go Bisharp here. Okay, Parting Shot works too. And now here... What do you do here? You go Slitherwing? They go for U-turn. I guess that makes sense too. Because if you go Paldean and Tauros, I just would want to be in a Slitherwing. Here I'm gonna go Vaporeon. Yep, always Vaporeon. And now we could Scald or Flip Turn. I think I want to Flip Turn. As apparently that's nasty Tauros. Big Drain here. There's Wave Crash, which is okay. I'm gonna Terra. I can't Terra with my Rotom. Okay. That's a problem. The Slitherwing First Impression does not break this. Oh, it does break the sub. Fantastic. Now let's see if Vacuum Wave will kill. They don't want to risk it. Apparently that does 50% to Graphite. I probably should have switched there. Gonna go into Bisharp. And then we're gonna go for the double here into Gardevoir. Yep, and just Moonblast. I mean, they 100% outspeed me. But might as well make the play just because we can. Vaporeon. Wish. And now Flip Turn. Not sure why they made that play. Because that lets me get my Gardevoir back in. So I'm glad I didn't give up. Because there's no... I don't know why my opponent made that play. Very strange. I still don't think I win this game. Here I will Wish again. And now we go hard Gardevoir. Because I think they probably protect. Well, that works too. And here I will just Moonblast again. Not much I can do here. Does a lot of damage to the Belly Bolt. And I'm not in range of dying quite yet. So Bisharp on you. Now Iron Head, the R high jump kick. And that'll be game. I'm not going to play that out. Okay, so that last game was a bit unfortunate. We got sort of overran there. I don't know. There's probably some stuff I could have done a bit better. But they had a pretty good matchup. And a pretty strong team overall. But one thing I was impressed by was the Gardevoir, which, despite all of the toxic shenanigans, was able to punch a lot of holes in that team. This Choice Specs Gardevoir, I did not expect 50% to Graphite with Vacuum Wave. Really strong. Here, this almost looks like a rain team again. I just don't know what the rain angle is. I will say the Vaporeon isn't looking that valuable in this game. Which is unfortunate if you're a Vaporeon fan, but what am I gonna do, you know? I'm gonna lead off with Gardevoir again. To lead off with the Toedscruel. Maybe that's where they're getting their rain from. Let's find out. Nah, they're just gonna Spore turn 1, that's okay. because I got a attack drop. They won't be doing too much damage to me. And they can lay up toxic spikes or do something. The Gardevoir is passable Spadef, so with the Spatak drop and Toedscool being generally weak, it's not that much of a threat, and I can burn a turn of sleep on their spikes. We'll probably get max turns here. Oh, we don't. Okay, so they only get 2 layers of spikes. And here... So Bisharp always, I guess. They do go for Rain Dance right away. And now Iron Head does allow them to go Palmot, but they actually get a Defiant boost on me, which is pretty big. Now I'm gonna Sucker Punch. They go for Aqua Jet, so cute play on their part. We'll go Vaporeon here. Now I'm just gonna flip turn. Basculegion does not get Poltergeist, so it is actually not that strong. Which is, I guess, sad if you're a Basculegion fan. And I'm going to go Toedscruel. You can Wave Crash if you want to, but I'm just going to Terra Water, I think? I think that's okay. And now I'll just Earth Power in case they're crazy, decide to go into their Palmot, which I don't think they should ever do. As they go Rotom Heat, which is to be expected. And here, I will just go into my own Rotom Heat. I almost Rapid Spun there, but I don't think that would be a good play. And I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch, because unfortunately they outspeed me there. I'm gonna sack the Vaporeon. I have max speed Rotom on this set, just max HP, max speed. And here I can just go for Overheat. I don't know if that kills. And they have not gone for Terra yet, unless I'm mistaken. So they could always Terra into like a ground or an electric type or whatever to try to dodge this. Maybe even a fire type. But I don't think he'd be a fire type on a rain team. And with a fire type already on the team. Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. But this is okay positioning for me, I think. And Slitherwing isn't going to trailblaze up on this Rotom, right? So even if I miss and they close combat, it would be really bad. But maybe we could still make something work. The Rotom is probably the biggest problem, and I knew that it was going to be a problem when I decided to go for the Terra Water. But I just didn't want to let the Basculegion get an obvious Ice Beam or even a Wave Crash, which is actually more what I was expecting there. I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp you. They double shock me, and they miss. Oh, I miss my Will-O-Wisp, which is actually pretty big. Here I'm going to sack my Bisharp, and I will go for the Low Kick first, and then the Swords Dance. Just to let them know I know what's up. Then I'm gonna go into Gardevoir and just throw off a Psychic. I wondered if they were modest, and if they were modest, then that could be nice. Now the question is, are you Iron Fist or are you Volt Absorb? Please be Volt Absorb. Yes! That's what you like to see. Moonblast is slightly stronger. Yes, and that's why we switched. Good job, Gardevoir. So, in tiers where Gardevoir is allowed and prevalent, if you have an immunity to your own type, you should never run it if you can get away with it. For example, Flygon, when it is in the tier with Gardevoir, which is actually pretty often, you only have Levitate, and so you have no choice. You have to run Levitate. And that makes Flygon entirely walled by Gardevoir unless you're willing to run the meme Iron Tail set. Likewise, if you are a Rapidash or some other Pokemon with Flash Fire. Rapidash specifically happened to me one time in a draft game. But if you are one of those Pokemon with Flash Fire, Arcanine is a better example. You don't usually want to be running that immunity because then Gardevoir can come in and be immune to your own type. You don't want that. You always want to be running any other thing, unless it's like, Truant or something. But in this case, if you'd been Iron Fist, that would have made you Double Shock stronger, and you wouldn't have been walled by Gardevoir. Because even if that weren't choiced in some form or fashion, the Double Shock, now I'm absorbing it, close combat, you can't really do any damage with, and Ice Punch, what are you going to do? So that's why I switched, just in case. But I'm glad to see that Gardevoir got to pick up that last KO. I really do like how strong Choice Specs Gardevoir is. Not the strongest speed tier, but decently workable. And the Moonblast is just really fun to spam. I think having the Terra Fight with the Vacuum Wave in the back is not the worst option. A lot of times when you have moves like Shadow Sneak on a Pokemon, it's not really that great because it's not very strong and it's situationally used. But when you're a Pokemon that needs fighting coverage and you give me a 100% accurate fighting move, well, that's already a plus. Also, this is a priority fighting move, so it's going to be weaker than Aura Sphere. Okay, that's fine. I understand that going in. But to have something that will outspeed and kill the Bisharp, I don't know if it kills all Bisharps. I guess we can do that damage real fast. Bisharp. This particular set here, Vacuum Wave, once you Terra, then it does OHKO. If they're max HP, then it still OHKOs. So being able to just bypass entirely the Sucker Punch Wars is huge for Gardevoir. Because if you look at Sucker Punch, from neutral, it does 62 to 74%. So imagine you've got a +2 Bisharp on the other side of the field. Either they Sword Stands up, or you accidentally got a Liquidation defense drop on them or something. Okay, that's a problem. Gardevoir can't come in and check it anymore. Because before maybe it could have gotten Moonblast. It was in range of Moonblast. But now I have to play a Sucker Punch War against a Mon with Iron Head. That's not a game I want to play. I'd rather come in, Terra Fighting, Vacuum Wave, you're dead, no questions asked. And that is, in my opinion, a valid use case to argue for using Vacuum Wave on Gardevoir as a non-meme option. But I only would use it on the Choice Specs set because on Choice Scarf you're already fast and you can always trick and do other things that I don't think Choice Specs wants to be doing as much. Choice Specs is all about power. But that'll be it for today's video. Always fun to use Gardevoir, and I'll catch you guys next time.